Hello, Tidy Mind Group, and welcome to today's live session that we are going to have. And welcome to all of you who may be watching the replay on YouTube. I'm glad to have you here. If you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel, Tidy Mind TV, you can watch these live video replays that we do on Facebook. And if you're not a member of the Facebook group, I encourage you to be. Hello, Christy. I'm so glad you're here with me. So let's get started. So today it's all about resentment and why. Like, why would we dig up such? Like, why would we even, like, let's just keep that buried, right? Let's don't get into that. Well, let's don't, because you want to feel better, you want to have better relationships, you want to have better connections, you want to enjoy those connections, you want to change some behaviors maybe that you're having towards some people, some feelings that you're having towards some people, you want to remove some of those emotions. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's just jump right into it. So I hope you've had a little bit of time to think about maybe some resentments in your Tidy Mind house. And if you haven't, I'm going to help you find what those are. Sometimes we don't really know, but it's pretty easy to find them. It's pretty easy to see what it is that is still bothering us, that we consciously say, no, that doesn't bother me anymore, but it really, really does. So where are we working? Let's just go to our Tidy Mind house right now. If you don't know what the Tidy Mind house is, you're new to me. I help you make sense of something that's very hard to make sense of, which is our mind, and what it does, and why it does what it does, and why it makes us feel how we feel, and how we can care for that. How can we take care of our minds so that we can feel better more of the time? So, where are we in our Tidy Mind house? We have different rooms in our Tidy Mind house, and when we're working on resentment, we are working in our people room, because our people room is all about those relationships. It's all about understanding other people. It's not just about relationships with other people, it's about relationship with our own self, how we feel about ourselves. And then we are also going down into the dreaded basement. Nobody wants to go into the basement, also known as the past room. But that is where we store all of these things that just kind of creep up to the surface, that maybe we don't even know it's down there, but it just creeps up when we're tired, or when we're angry at someone, or when we're having some conflict with someone. Those type of things rise to the surface, and you're like, I thought I dealt with that, but it was still really stored down in your past room, in a box somewhere down there. So today we're going to be working in the people room, and we're also going to go down into our basement, and we're going to look into our boxes and see if we find any resentments. And I'm going to talk to you about a 3-step process that it's not something that you just clear up all in one session. So today's session is not going to really take care of all of it. We might can clear some of them up during this talk today, but really I want to give you the process that it takes, the 3-step kind of process that you can go through and check the boxes and say, okay, I'm good with that. Okay, now I'm good with that, and now I'm good with that. So we start off. I'm going to just go ahead and give you the 3-step process before we go into our Tidy Mind house and talk about some things. And that is, first we have to go in that people room and correct that relationship with ourselves. Can't be hating on ourselves. Okay, can't have hate and resentment towards ourselves. Then we have to stop hating those we love. We have to stop attacking them with things that we're resenting them for. We have to get rid of all that. And then the third and final process is becoming a safe space for other people. Not just a safe space for our own self, but we become a safe space, meaning a unconditionally loving space for anyone who comes in connection with us. And that's what all this work is for. We want to become the best version of ourselves that we can become. And not only that, we want to feel good, right? Like we want to feel like we have emotional stability, we have emotional intelligence, we're able to control what our mind is doing, we're able to have moments of calm and contentment and peace and relief, and then we're able to project that out around everyone who comes into contact with us, and we become that for them. So we have to first become that for us. So that's just a little brief summary of what we're going to be talking about today. But first, let's get into talking about resentments, if you are ready. So I want you to just imagine, and if you want to close your eyes while I'm talking about this, sometimes that helps to visualize it a little bit if you're a visual person. We're understanding the mind, we're understanding what resentments are, where they exist, how they can affect our physical body, how they affect our behavior, how they affect the energy running through our body, how we feel each and every day, and we want to find what they are, where they are, and get rid of them. So see yourself in your tidy mind house. And there we are, and I'm going to be there as your guide. And you've got your calm, stable presence, your adult self caretaker of your mind there with me. And we're going inside to check out the people room and your resentments. What is even resentment? So if we're in our people room, and if you just imagine that you're there, and there's the people in your people room that you are in direct relationship with, I want you to think of someone in that room that you just don't feel settled about. Maybe it's an old relationship that you haven't thought about in years, but you two just you couldn't meet in the middle. You couldn't find that common ground. You couldn't come together and connect for some reason. Okay? So think about that person. Maybe it's someone in your immediate experience, a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a child, that you just can't connect. You don't know why, but you just can't connect. And I'm going to talk to you about why you can't connect. And we want to, the whole purpose of working in this people room and getting rid of these resentments is to create a better connection. And I know some of you are thinking like, yeah, no, it's just not going to happen. I can't connect with this person. They won't open up to me. I can't open up to them. We just can't get it right. But I want to tell you that you can do your part. You can do your part to let your walls down, to be able to open up, and to share love. So let's talk about that a little bit. Inside your people room, these resentments that exist in those boxes in your basement, they build walls. If you've ever heard about somebody who talks about, I just have so many walls up, or if you know somebody that you just can't get them to open up, you can't get close to them, you can't connect with them, you can't talk to them the way you want to talk to them. That is what we mean by walls. And walls are built out of resentment, out of fear, out of different beliefs, different personal beliefs. You hold a different personal belief than they hold. It's built out of shame. We can build walls out of a lot of different things. And these things all make up the bricks of these walls. And these walls block off our heart. So you can't give love in the way that you want to give love. And you also can't receive love the way you want to receive love. So that is why we're looking at this. We're looking at those resentment bricks. And there's fear also. There's fear bricks. There's the differences that we can't come together on and just agree to disagree. There's shame. There's all kinds of bricks in our walls. But today we're working on those resentment walls, those things that just really bother us. And those bricks in that wall, that build that wall, keep you from being able to share love with another person and to receive love, to feel safe around them. So sometimes we might think, well, unless they do their part, unless they're willing to do this work too, unless we're able to come to an agreement, then I'm I'm never going to be okay with them. Like it's going to take them doing it too. And I want to tell you that is a flawed premise. That is not actually true. Now, yes, they may, if they don't do their part, they may not be able to feel love from you that you are sending out. But, and you may not be able to feel love coming from them because they're not, it's not meeting you because they've got a wall up. That is true. You may not ever actually be able to experience that with them till they do their part. But you don't have to be separated from love, meaning you don't have to suffer because the two of you haven't worked it out yet. Does that make sense? As in, you can feel love in your heart for them. You can be that safe space for them. You can pour love out of your heart to them. And when they're ready, love can change a lot of things when people feel love from you. When they don't feel any resentment, they don't feel any fear from you. They don't feel any hate from you. They don't feel any shame from you. There is no wall, which makes you a very safe space. So I want to just set that out there to say you don't have to wait on the other person. It's all about you. If you wait on the other person, that's kind of giving your power away to say, you know, I'm never going to get to feel better about this relationship until they're willing to do their work too. And that's just not true. You can be at total peace about the relationship. It may not be what you want it to be. It may not be a connected relationship like you're wanting it to be. But that's not because you haven't done your part. You're ready. You're open. You're there for them whenever they're ready to come to you, whenever they're ready to do their work and drop their walls. You're ready to jump right in and connect and meet them wherever they are. So I just want you to know you don't have to suffer just because someone else won't sit down with you in a therapy session or won't sit with you and talk to you about what's going on. You do your work yourself. That surrounds you in love. That opens your heart for love to flow in and flow out to other people. And that brings a lot of peace to you. That calms a lot of anxiety. When you have those walls up, built of resentment, fear, shame, differences, like when you have those walls up, you're tense, you're tight, like you're just a you're not a soft presence to be around. You're grouchy, or you're critical, or you're harsh, or you're, you know, people like this, right? Like, you know, people that they're just hard, like they're just really hard people, and it's because they have walls. And these walls, I'm telling you now what they're made out of, and I want to melt you today. Like, I want to soften you up. If you're feeling like you're you're too hard, or you're too harsh, or you're too rigid, or you can't relax and just um, allow people to connect with you and allow people to come into your space and enjoy their presence and them enjoy your presence. If that is you, you're in the right place, because that is what we're working on today. So let's talk about it. So what part of you, like, we're in the people room again. If you just joined us, we're in the people room, and we're talking about all these relationships. And let's go into the center of the people room, and let's talk about the most important relationship when it comes to, let's work on this resentment thing. And that is that relationship between you and you. That is your innermost relationship. And that is really, that's the core. If you can get that one right, all the other ones around you will straighten out. Okay? So let's talk about that. So I have my finger puppets today. So this should be fun, right? If you're new to this process, I want to explain it to you as we talk about the adult. Who do I have as the adult? This is my adult finger. This is the caretaker. These are two parts of your mind. Okay? Let's make the adult taller than the child. So these are two parts of your mind. You have the conscious part. You have the subconscious part. This part is that calm, confident presence that is connected to source, that is connected to whatever your higher, whatever you see as higher than you, bigger than you, all powerful, whatever. I don't care what it is. I do encourage you to have something though, because that's very helpful to this part of you as you're doing parenting. So that's that part of your mind, the conscious part of your mind that says, "Oh no, I'm fine. Everything's all good. Oh yeah, I'm over that. I don't have any issues." That's that part that thinks that that's what's going on. And then you got this part. And this part this part is your subconscious mind or your inner child. And this, I can't make it turn around to the camera, it's all backwards. So this part controls your behaviors. So when you're having an argument, if two people are having an argument, it's these two parts. It's these two parts of your mind that are at odds. This part doesn't have issues. This part doesn't care, doesn't take things personally. It's mature. It sees a higher perspective. This part does not. This part is very childish. It takes a lot of things personally, and it needs a lot of care. This part causes your emotional disturbances, okay? So when we're in our people room, we want to learn how to care for this part. This is the inner relationship that we have to work on. So when we're talking about resentment, who built the wall? Which one of these built the wall? This one. This little inner child built the wall. Why do we build walls? We build walls to protect ourselves. We're scared. We don't want to be hurt again. We've been hurt. Things have happened. People have done things, said things. This part of us didn't like it. It's not safe out there. It's not safe out there. And with resentment as part of that brick wall that we talk about, that's things that it can't let go of it. It hates it. It hates it about that other person. It just bothers it about that other person. And if you don't know what those are, let me give you a hint. The next time this part of you comes out and is talking to their part, their little child, the next time you're at odds with someone and these two are at it, you'll hear yourself say things that we use kind of like as knives, like we stab each other with them. Like that's what a resentment is. If you don't know what your resentments are, it's the things that come up in arguments that you use to just like poke at somebody. Like, well, I guess you had to go and do this, or you had to go and do that, and now that's why we're in the shape we're in, or that's why we're in the position. That's a resentment. They have not let that go. They've not made their peace with it. They don't like it. They've still angry about it. They still hate you for it. Okay? I'm going to use that very strong word. I know a lot of us are like, our adult selves are like, I don't hate anyone. No, 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 no. I am all love. I am all light. You're not. Like, you've got this part that, yeah, it hates people. It hates things. It hates situations. Children are so honest. My legs have gone to sleep. I can't move. Kids are so honest, and they're honest with their feelings, and they're honest with their emotions. And we can suppress it, and that's what we do a lot. We suppress this part of us, but it will only stay suppressed for so long. And when we are tired, when we're exhausted, when we're, like in an argument with someone, this thing pops up and it is running the show, and it is saying things and doing things. And that's why afterwards you're like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I say? Why did I do that? Why did I do this? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I'm so childish. You couldn't help it, okay? That's why there's a piece of fuzz. That's why we deal with this. That's why we deal with this now, before it's tired, before it's in a conflict, because we don't want all that stuff in there anyway. But it is in there, and there's things in there, and there's things in our basement, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to look at these resentments. So think about that. Like, what is that for you? Like, what are those things that you use to stab those you love with? Like, you just use it against them. Let's give some examples. Let's talk about some examples. So maybe you're a housewife and you stay home all day, and you're not getting your needs met, you're not getting mental stimulation, you're there with the kids, you're watching, I don't know what the cartoons are, but it was Dora the Explorer back in my day. And that's all you do, right? Like, that's your life. Not saying it's bad, not, I'm just saying that to this part of you, it can be, oops, the child part, it can be unstimulating and unsatisfying and very frustrating and very hard and very challenging. And then your husband comes home and he just sits on the couch. And this part of you resents the fact that you don't have time to sit on the couch. The children won't leave you alone long enough to have any peace or do something fun for yourself. So you resent that. And then when you get in an argument, you'll say things, well, I guess or you just walk through the house and say, I guess, well, it must be nice. It must be nice to be able to sit on the couch and just do nothing. That is a stab. Okay? Does that make sense now? Like what I'm talking about with using our resentments to stab people? It's those passive aggressive comments that we make. If you're making passive aggressive, you know when you do it. You know when you do it. I know when I do it. I hear my child come up and say it, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't dealt with that. So those are the things that we need to deal with. You need to deal with those things that come out in those passive aggressive comments, because that is telling you what your resentments are. Okay, so let's go back to these two. All right, everything that I'm about is teaching you how to embody this and take care of this. Everything. Every course I've ever written, everything I ever talk about, every meditation I ever do is telling you how to do that, because I know that once you are able to do it, your life will get better. You stop overreacting. You stop being scared of everything. Your anxiety decreases. Your depression is better. You're able to cope with life much better. You're able to then get into your mission room that we talk about in our Tidy Mind House, and you're able to do things, and you're able to have fun. And it all starts in the inside of the people room with this you and you relationship. Okay? So let's talk about that. Who builds the wall? The child builds the wall. Sometimes, now this is step one in the process that I'm talking to you about today. Sometimes the child builds a wall to protect itself from the part that's supposed to be caring for it, and that is the mature inner parent. But you've not learned how to be this yet, right? You don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't even know you are supposed to be this, not this. So you don't know how to care for it. What does that look like when you don't know how to care for it? And why would the child build a wall against its own self? What that looks like is when you are critical of yourself. You are having very negative self-talk. You are attacking your inner child. You are attacking yourself. Every single thing you do, not good enough. You should have done it better. You're so stupid. I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you said that. That is abuse, okay? That is critical and abusive, and this part of you will shut down and build a wall inside yourself. That will make you hard as bricks. And how that comes out into your outer world inside your people room is you become that to other people. So if you know someone like that is like just super critical person, I can guarantee you that is happening inside of them. That it is starting there. That they are doing that to themselves. They hear that voice just hating themselves all day, every day. And when you do that, you don't feel good. You do not feel, it feels horrible. It is like a poison in your system. It is toxic. It is not love. And And a lot of times we pick this up from, we learn how to be parents from the way we were parented, or the way we saw our parents treat themselves. Maybe they weren't harsh to us, but we could tell they were harsh to themselves. So we became overly critical of ourselves because we think if we do that, then we're going to control this part of us somehow, that we're going to stop doing stupid things, or we're going to, no, that is one way to guarantee you continue that cycle. Not that you change that cycle. The only way to change that cycle is this part of you starts loving this part of you. And then this part of you, over time, this takes time to trust you again. If it sees consistently that you are kind to it when it makes mistakes, you are kind to it when it says things to embarrass you, you are kind to it always. I love you no matter what. I don't care what I know you just did that. It was embarrassing, but we're okay. The wall starts to come down. It doesn't come down immediately. So that's why I'm telling you, like, we're not going to fix all this like in 30 minutes. But it can over time. So that's the first step process of letting go of the walls, of letting go of the resentment. And the resentment I'm talking about here is the child part is resenting. You've got resentments about your own self. You hate your own self. So we got to get rid of the self-hate. We got to take it at the core and get rid of the self-hate first. That's how we start to soften. We start to soften ourselves. We start to relax ourselves. So if that's you, I have a course about that. I'll put the link. I'll put the link in the video description, or if you're on Facebook Live, I'll put it there. But I have one that can help you heal this relationship. It used to be called Healing Us Too, and it's called something else now. But anyway, that will help you with that. So we want to drop those walls of resentment first inside in our core relationship, and that's the most important one, that these two can come together and be a team. And once they're a team, they can accomplish great things. And your emotional, that's where emotional stability is going to come from. When you stop hating yourself, that's step one. And then once you two come together, it becomes a whole lot easier to be nicer and more compassionate and more patient with other people and stop hating them. It just does. A lot of people try to do that. They'll read spiritual books and they'll do this and that and try to be loving and try to be kind and try to be compassionate, but they hate themselves. And they hear that inside their head all day long, and so they snap at people, or they get mad at people, and they take things personally, and they're hurt and they're wounded, and you can't come near them, and they don't know what's wrong with them, and they're like, I don't want to be like this. And that's why they haven't, they know what they should be, and they try to fake it. They try to fake that they are, and that takes a lot of energy. Trust me, that takes a lot of energy to fake nice when it's not genuine. You want to be genuinely nice and loving and compassionate and patient and all those wonderful fruits of the spirit that you read about. You have to first start with this inner relationship and heal it. Make some peace inside yourself. When you make peace inside yourself, it comes naturally to be kind and loving and stop hating and resenting other people. Those things just come on right on out, okay? Then we're going to trickle out. Now let's look at, once you've done step one and you've worked on that, y'all work on that this week. If you're not at peace here, let's get there, okay? And then we're going to start with those outer relationships. So I don't even want you to think about, oh, well, I'm going to have to go work on my relationship with my husband or my wife. Don't even go there till you work on this one first, because it won't matter. Like, it's just like a Band-Aid. You're not starting on the foundation level. You're just like picking somewhere to start, and it will unravel. Like, you can't actually maintain it. You can't actually release the resentment because you still hate yourself inside. There's still walls here. So you got to get rid of the wall between you and yourself first. Okay? You got to get some love in there. Let the love start flowing inside first. Okay? Let's get it moving around. And then we're going to work on those outer relationships. So, What are your resentments with other people? Go ahead and look at it. Maybe you've already done your work here. Maybe you're good. I don't know. And what are your resentments with other people? So what are those passive aggressive things that come out when you're tired or when you're angry? What are those things? And I want you to know, if you're in a intimate relationship with someone and you're wondering why you aren't as close as you could be or you want to be, or y'all don't enjoy each other's company, or you don't laugh together, or you don't have fun together, or it's hard, or it's heavy, or it's sad, or it's a horrible place to live with all this unhappiness, you got walls, okay? You got resentments. They may not be where you are. They may not want to look at their stuff. They may not want to work on this stuff. I don't know. But like I said before, it's okay because you can start your process, and they start to feel a difference in you, and it impacts. I talk about balance a lot, and when you start to shift yourself and you let go of those resentments you have towards them, they can feel that. You can feel when somebody resents you or hates you about something, can't you? Like, you can just walk into their presence, and even though they're saying I love you through their mouth, you feel there's part of them, that inner child, does not love you about something. You can feel it, and it's horrible. It's horrible to live with. Like, if you're living a life in a house full of resentment, and marriage is so easy. It's so easy to think they've got it better and they get to do this and I don't get to do this, and it must be nice, and I have to do everything. It's all resentments, and it's so easy. You live in the house together, you're close, you do everything to get, like, it's easy to get those things, and then those stack up and stack up and stack up, and next thing you know, you can't come together. You can't even feel each other. You don't There's no love flowing through between you. It's not that it's not possible. It's not that you can't feel that again. It's not that it's just over and it's just done or it's just too damaged. No, it's possible, but you need to do your work, and you do your work, and that'll help them kind of feel a change in you and feel a softness in you. And sometimes that's really all it takes for them to say, oh, wait a minute, maybe she's not evil. Or maybe he's not such a bad person after all. So yeah, so sometimes that's all it takes for them to let their guard down a little bit, let their defensives down a little enough to let some love come back in. That's what we want, right? We don't want to live in unhappiness. We don't want to live in a world of walls and resentment and harsh and hard. And no, let's don't. Let's have softness and love, and let's feel good together. So yes, so then you need to look at, after you've worked on your inner relationship, step 2 is to look at the things, have a little, now oops, now that you know how to take care of this part of you. And if you don't know how to take care of this part of you, do the Tidy Mind course. That's what it's about. I think it's just called Tidy Mind. Anyway, that course, do it first, and that'll help you learn how to be this, and it'll help you heal that inner relationship, and it'll help you care for your mind. Okay, so after you've learned how to care for your mind and you're starting to love yourself a little bit, then you can have a little talk with this part of you and say, I'm listening now. Like, I'm not going to ignore. I'm not going to just say, no, we're fine. We don't resent them. No, we don't. I'm going to listen to you, and I want you to talk to me and tell me what's up. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what still bothers you. Tell me why it still bothers you. And really listen. Listen to yourself. You got to talk to yourself, okay? Listen to yourself and say, all right, you know what? I hear you. And tell me what it is that would make you feel better. You got to ask yourself, your little self, that question. What would make you feel better? Do you want to talk to them about it? Do you need more information? Do you need more facts? What would cause this to become settled for you? What would make you feel better about this? Do you just need them to say they understand you? And they may, now that's something they may do, they may not do, but you can let your mind know is that you understand it. And that's why the inner relationship's so important, because it doesn't rely on what anybody else's mind gives you or won't give you. You can give it to yourself and say, well, I understand why that hurts you. I understand why that upset you. And it's okay, and I'm going to take care of you, and I'm here for you. And if you've built a trusting relationship, that is enough to calm that little part of you down. Okay? So that's kind of that's step 2. You have that conversation, find out what it's upset about that other person about. Write those things down. And then you're going to start to work on those one by one. Y'all stick with me, and we'll just do more sessions, and we'll keep working on this stuff and just get more and more clear. And I'll tell you everything I know to help you do that. And then step 3, okay? Step 3 is becoming a safe space. So you've become a safe space inside yourself, and then you worked on the walls that you have between other people, all those resentment. And like I said, walls are built out of not just resentment, but fear, differences, different beliefs, different perspectives that you just can't meet in the middle on, and also shame. There's probably some other bricks that I haven't discovered yet, but that's 4 of the bricks that I've discovered. Those things will keep you from being able to connect and to feel love and to feel loved, to feel safe in a relationship. It's important that you have safety in a relationship and that you feel safe to express yourself. That starts here. This part needs to feel safe to express to you what it feels, what it likes, what it doesn't like. One mistake that we make is to shut this part down, repress it. No, I don't feel that. I don't feel that. I don't think that. I don't feel that. Yes, you do, and it's okay that you do. Negative emotions aren't bad. They're trying to tell you something. I tell people this all the time. They talk about anger. I don't want this anger. I don't want this anger. Anger is not always a bad thing. Anger is a very transformative energy that can tell you, hey, you're not listen. I'm trying to tell you something that will help both of us, and you're not listening to me, and I need you to listen to me. I'm still angry about this, and I need you to see it. There's something you're not seeing about us. There's a lie that you're believing. There's some denial that you have. There's something I'm trying to tell you. This part's pretty smart. Our children are pretty connected. Our children are pretty connected to the truth, and they tell the truth, where us as adults, we deny things, and we lie and to ourselves. This part's honest, and it knows you too. Like, it knows exactly what it wants. It knows exactly what it needs. It knows exactly all those things. And repressing it is not getting you the life you want to have. It is just causing this part to be angry all the time. So anger is a transformative energy, and it's a very strong warning sign that you're not listening. You're not listening to yourself. So listen to yourself. What is it angry about? Write those things down. Don't filter it and say, oh, I shouldn't think that, or I'm so spiritual, I'm above that, and I shouldn't have those feelings. Just stop it. Like, just get honest. Just get real. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a real person, and it makes you a human being that is willing to be strong and courageous and brave, and look at this hard stuff in the basement. Like, not everybody will do it. They'd rather just live in denial town and just fake happy, and then have like meltdowns and blow up at people and then wonder why they did that. And it's like, don't. Like, just be genuine. If you're going to be kind and compassionate, be genuinely kind and compassionate. If you can't be, just be what you are. Let everybody know this is where I am. I'm not even faking it anymore, but I'm working on it. So be patient with me. So then step 3 is to become a safe space. This is the ultimate. This is our this is our ultimate goal with all the work that we do, is to become that safe space to people. Oh my gosh, there's just not enough safe spaces in the world. What is a safe space? Think about it. I want you to think about it for yourself for a second. What do I mean by safe space? A safe space is someone that you can come to and you can talk to about anything. You don't feel judged. You don't feel fear come from them when you say things. You don't feel um, fear come up in yourself because you're afraid that they're going to not like you or judge you. It is a space of just unconditional love. And that is whatever your God room belief is, that's what exists in there. It's just love. Like I don't care what you are or what you say or what you think or what you don't think or what you've done. I don't care. Love's there. Love's flowing, and there is nothing that you can say to me or do or be that would make me put up a wall and block you off from that love. Nothing can separate you from the love of God. And that's what's in our God room. That's what a safe space is. We want to be that. And it doesn't happen overnight because there's steps to this process. We got to start to be it for ourselves. Then we can be that safe space for other people. And that is the ultimate goal. When you've let all of your resentments go, there is no hate in you. There is no anger left in you. There is just love flowing in and out. You can be that safe space so easily. And there are some relationships um, that it's easy to be a safe space in because maybe it's not a close intimate relationship. Maybe there's no fear of loss that you have with that person, or afraid that if you say or do something they'll take something away, or now you'll be alone. Or so there's some relationships that it's easier to be a safe space with, to be neutral, non-judgmental, to be calm about what they say, to just be listening and supporting and loving no matter what they say, because you're not invested. Okay, what does that mean? Invested in the relationship, meaning there's no consequence. It's not really going to affect you either way. That's what we want to get to with every relationship. And I know you're like, well, wait a minute, how is that? We do that by not attaching to them as our caretaker, but we have such a strong relationship within ourselves. We know this isn't changing. We have total control over this relationship right here. This isn't up to somebody else's mind, somebody else's emotions, somebody else's feelings about us, anything. This is stability. If you can get this relationship right, you find your stability. So no matter what anybody else in your relationships that you share love with does, says, thinks, whatever their mind makes them say or do about you, will not matter, because you got this. And this part is not attached to them as the one to meet their needs and make them safe, but it is attached to you. And you're always listening, and you're always caring for them, no matter if that other person goes away because their crazy mind made them think something that wasn't true, made them put up a wall. Even if they go away, you know you're okay. When you can get to that point, you can be a safe space for anybody, no matter how close they are to you, because you are not attached to them as the meter of your needs, as the one who it's just not attachment. And if you've studied any of the Buddha teachings or anything like that, they talk about non-attachment, and that's what that means. You're not attached to something that could change. Talk about the God room again. In the God room, it says God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. God is a stability. It's not changing, meaning God's not going to change his, hers mind about you ever. Like, you are what you are loved, the end, period. No matter what behavior happens, no matter who says what, no matter who does what, don't care. I don't care. I'm neutral about it. We're together, don't care. So that is what we want to become to other people. And we can once we build this relationship with ourselves. So that's it. That's it. That was very long, and that's okay. But that was a good session, and I hope that you will join me again next week. I think we're going to talk about the difference between walls and boundaries. I think that would be a good one because there are healthy boundaries and there are walls. Walls, as we talked about today, is not something that we want to have because that blocks the flow of love in and out, and we don't want to do that. But boundaries are sometimes necessary, and we're going to talk about the difference between a wall and a boundary, what a wall's made up of, what a boundary's made up of, and how different they both are. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining me, and hey, let's do this again. Let's do this again next Friday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. That'll be 10 Pacific Time, and we'll see you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.